Yo, what's poppin' guys, Sizzle here, and today I'm going to talk about Overwatch's most loved support. Before I give my thoughts on the character, I'll give a basic rundown of her abilities. So, you can left click to do damage, or to heal. For, I think it's 70 a shot, solid amount of damage, solid amount of healing, but not super oppressive, mainly because it takes a second to apply, right? When I shoot this guy, you can see it kind of ticking down. Which actually allows for more time to react to it, more time for counterplay. It's anytime you're facing Ana, there is like a million times where you would have died to like a McCree or something, but because of Ana's delayed damage, you're able to get healed or stuff like that and actually live. At the same time, she has unscoped shots are projectiles, right? So they take a bit of time to travel at longer distances, are much harder to hit on moving targets. When she scopes in with her right click, she then has a hit scan thing, so it instantly happens, it instantly does things, but at the same time, it leaves a visible bullet trail. You can see that little yellow bullet trail, like even in first person, and you can definitely see it when you're not in first person, you're looking for where the Ana is. So you basically can give up your position at with the upside of being hit scan. It still takes a second to apply, like you can see it after I shoot, there's still a little bit of time for the damage to come through. She has two abilities, the anti-nade, which she can throw, very generous hitbox, does 50 damage, and blocks healing the whole time that's purple, which at the moment is 3 seconds. And then the sleep dart, which if you hit someone with it, they fall on the ground and can't do anything while they're down there, unless they get cleansed or something, and then they stand back up and go back in the fight. And then her ultimate is Nano Boost, which heals a target for half their health, so if you see this guy's really low, if I nano him, it's their full health? Maybe I thought it was half their health. Maybe it's like half their health on tanks. It's like I don't remember. I thought it was half. I guess they're full health, as long as they're not antied themselves, but hit by the anti-nade. And then they first off take half damage while they're nanoed, and second off they do a bit more damage as well. Very powerful ult. Even has some combos with actual names, which is unique to Nano. I don't know if there's any other kind of ability combos or ult combos that have names like that, right? Nano Visor, Nano Blade, things like that. Just super iconic combos are all tied to Ana. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much all there is to say about that. You can kind of see it live here, like this guy's taking like 0 damage because it's 50% reduced. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on Ana are pretty straightforward. Like a lot of people have commented, and like most people recognize, she's a very strong support. Sleep and Anti-Nade might be the two best abilities in this game that are not Kiriko's Suzu. They are incredibly strong abilities on their own, and one character, being Ana, actually has access to both of them. I also forgot to mention her nade can be thrown at the floor to self-heal for 50, and also there's like a technical side effect that pretty much is never used, but if you throw it at teammates and it hits them, they get faster healing. Like anyone hit by the nade on your team gets healed faster and gets healed for 50. Yeah. But yeah, overall, Ana is an interesting character. She's definitely very strong. Pretty much for 90% of Overwatch 2, I think she's just always been one of the best options to have on your teams for most comps. Right, her ability to play as a sniper and play at range makes her work with most comps pretty easily, especially with comboed with characters like Brigade, who can... What's going on? This guy just DC. Yeah. You just see Tracer and give up. I don't know. I don't know what just happened there. But either way, like, yeah, right. She can play longer, safer ranges, but at the same time, you'll notice Ana has no mobility. That's her main drawback. Is the little decaying damage type, which gives more time to react to things, and the 0 mobility, which makes her really, really easy to die. Like if a Winston jumps on an Ana, and she doesn't hit him with her sleep dart pretty much, then Ana generally dies. Right? She doesn't have fast, simple, easy damage to quickly kill him. She does have stuff to kind of poke him down, damage him a little bit, but yeah. And the thing with Anti-Nade as well, something worth noting, is that it only gets cleansed either by cleanse or Zarya bubbles, but it along with Sleep Dart can actually get blocked by barriers of any kind, so like Winston bubble, Ryan shield, Brig shield, etc. But they can all, like, you can see actually the extra healing on that Sombra right there. She went to full health from like half because I hit her with my nade by mistake. Yeah, basically Ana's a little bit of everything, but all of it, and the reason I'm okay with Ana being good is all of it kind of has some level of counterplay, right? There's things you can kind of do about them. First off, Sleep Dart, actually relatively hard to hit if you are not on the tank rule. And then Anti-Nade is just an ability that you can bait out, right? You can block it with shields, you can kind of block it with cover. At the same time, it is a really generous hitbox, and in Overwatch 1 that didn't matter as much because there was 2 different tanks, both with shields, you know, there's defense matrix, bubbles, whatever. There were so many abilities that tanks had to stop the nade that it was kind of okay for it to be generous. I do think that's something maybe the devs should look at in Overwatch 2. That's the only real complaint I have left, is how easy it is to hit someone with an anti-nade. But yeah, your sleep and your nade give you counterplay to most things. Like if I sleep a nano blade in Genji, I actually have the chance to kill him, that's one of the few ways to actually stop a nano blade. Generally, Ana's nano in general, despite being a pretty strong ult, I mean 50% mitigated and dealing more damage is really strong given to any character. Much less a character of your choosing that isn't you, right? Like for example, nano Winston is just amazing. He just jumps on you, doesn't die, and can kill most things, unlike what he normally can do, which is either burst people down or just kind of like tickle them a little bit. Yeah, the cooldown's also pretty reasonably long, at least for the current balance of Overwatch 2. But the problem is, not really with Ana's design. The only people that I think really hate Ana, generally, are Hog players, because he has no answers to any of those abilities. Every other tank either has like a small hitbox like Junker Queen, you know, things like Shout to kind of sustain through an anti-nade. You know, they just aren't a tank so that the abilities are actually a bit harder to hit and not as worth using. But for Hog, he has no mobility, he has a massive hitbox, he has no way to stop anti-nade or sleep, either of which could easily get him killed. And Ana, you know, doesn't have to deal with any barriers, because if you're on a Hog, you by definition have no barriers. I should have monkeyed it or whatever. But like, yeah, you have no barriers on Hog, and it's kind of a problem. He's the only character though like that, right? And that's more of a problem with Hog's design more than anything. Every other character has some way of counterplaying every single one of Ana's abilities. There is counterplay to anti-nade, there's counterplay to sleep, there's counterplay to nano, there's even counterplay to just Ana's general kind of positioning. Because you know she wants to play a longer, safer sightline because you can dive her so easily. So you can kind of abuse that and position in parts of the map and play in parts of the map where it's really hard for her to damage you or kind of do anything to you. Or you take some flank routes to kind of get into that backline and absolutely fuck her up. Okay, I want to nano him. There we go. You can see right here, right? Genji realized, like, oh, that Winston just leaped away. Ana is way too deep, you know, way too far up. I can just blade here for free and kill her. And look at that. It's exactly what he did.
How does he?
It's really that simple. That's all you have to do to counterplay on it. It's just find a way to dive her. She, outside of hitting her sleep, and you can easily bait that out. You know, it's actually pretty difficult to hit if you're not a tank. It actually feels really satisfying to hit an Ana, and it you know, it's like a read. Kind of like when you deflect a Hanzo or something on Genji. It's like, you know, it doesn't really feel that bad as the Hanzo because you could have just waited out the deflect. You can definitely bait out the sleep. You know, all her abilities are very easy to bait out on relatively long cooldowns. And outside of the ease of hitting anti-nade, especially on tanks, generally pretty well balanced, I'd say, at this point. I mean, anti might still be a bit too strong, and mainly for the Hog interaction, but that's, like I said, more of a problem with Roadhog being balanced for 2 tanks in Overwatch 1, and not really a problem with Ana's design. It actually just exposes the fact that Hog is very poorly designed. That being said, Ana is just very versatile. I mean, like I mentioned kind of at the start, her longer range and these very strong utilities, along with a very strong ult in Nano, which, you know, can be fight winning. Like, Nano Blade is almost always a guaranteed fight win if you have both the Genji and the Ana ult. It leads her to be really fun. She feels really great to play because every part of her kit has some pretty reasonable counterplay that you can kind of enact. She feels pretty solid to play against. Like, overall, just fun hero. Fun hero, fun time. Good design. Everyone's loved her since she came out. She was the first character added to this game, I believe. There was that whole Sombra ARG where they had like a whole... They had some crazy shit going on back when they were trying to release Sombra, and then they ended up releasing Ana first, which was still one of the weirder things to ever happen in Overwatch. But yeah, that was a really cool time. For everyone who's been there since launch, you know how exciting it was when Ana and Sombra were added to the game. Really cool. And everyone's loved Ana ever since. She's like the most balanced support. There's always been so much counterplay to her. The only reason she feels a little bit more oppressive now than Overwatch 1, the only reason they have to change a lot of her abilities is because she's one of those characters that was built perfectly for 2 tanks. Right, the counterplay available to her is mainly given to the tank role, stuff like barriers, defense matrix, all that stuff. This is the easiest counterplay by far. But there's even counterplay abilities like deflect from Genji, and just general mobility for most other characters like Tracer.
No way.
And that's just afforded to other roles. Like, everyone pretty much has something to deal with, at least like parts of Ana's kit. Maybe not all of it, right? You're not going to always beat out, you know, anti and sleep. Yeah, that's just rude. But, you know, you can beat out anti or sleep on most characters, and then you just have to bait out the other one by playing cover, you know, especially if anti's the thing you have an answer to. I don't actually know which characters would only answer anti, but not sleep. Yeah, right. Like you have, it's cool. The reason I think she's the best is because she's the most well designed in terms of actually having counterplay. Every other support is some type of bullshit ability. You know, Zen has his Discord orb, which can feel really unfair to play into, especially with certain teammates. Like, you know, Lifeweaver has his general insane survivability, and then,
Nice
yeah, Mercy has Res, which feels incredibly bullshit. There's Lucio, can sometimes feel really, really awful to play into because of his high mobility and kind of crazy. It's just crazy mobility. It can be really annoying if your aim isn't the best at the moment to deal with some Lucios that are diving your backline. I mean, he's actually one of the least offensive as well. I think before Ana was in the game, and even when she was added, Lucio has always been a fan favorite as well, because he's also pretty fair. He's a pretty fair support. Whenever he fucks you up, it feels pretty fair. Like this, you know, decent amount of counterplay to the hero and what he offers. And yeah, overall very solid. Oh. There he is, that guy. Yeah, you can see even Kiriko. Kiriko is literally built as a character to help counteract, because they knew Ana's abilities were balanced for 2 tanks, so they added Kiriko to the game to counteract both of her incredibly strong utilities and end up making a character even more broken somehow. But that's why I think it's okay that Ana's good. When a character has counterplay, I mean, I mentioned this in like the Doom video, Winston video, when I feel like I didn't lose a fight because of the character, but rather the way I engaged with that fight, the way I used my abilities, the way I moved around the map. I think that's good hero design. I think that's what makes the game fun. Like, a game is fun when you feel like you got beat by the player and not the hero they played, you know? And Ana definitely invigorates that feeling the most of pretty much any support, except, like I said, Lucio. The problem is Lucio doesn't have that same versatility. He only really works with certain comps and playstyles, not just, like, every possible little thing. And that's why Ana is more loved, and that's why it's been better that Ana's been better. I mean, like, I think literally every support player outside of One Tricks will have the playtime on Ana, because she just works. She's really fun to play, against, you know, not incredibly hard. I think I don't remember if I mentioned this, but when she heals people, she also, by the way, has a little bit of a generous hitbox. Like, you can actually be a little bit off the guy, but not super far. It's not like Lifeweaver where it's auto-aim. You still have to aim generally near your teammates, but when you're specifically healing, not when you're damaging, but only when you're healing, the hitbox of the healing particles are actually a little bit bigger than those of the damaged ones. So for those of you who didn't know, that's why sometimes it feels like you can't hit, you know, that Genji on the enemy team, but you can hit the Genji on your team. Right, and right there, they make a mistake, I can punish it. Any solidly designed character can punish misplays of any other character, and Ana is a pretty solidly designed character, very fun. Like, if there's any tank to be broken, any tank. Any support to be broken, I'd want it to be Ana, because it feels fine to play against her. She's very inoffensive, very solid. There's a lot you can do better. I mean, let's look around. Life Weaver, I hate. General Story ability, just the design of the whole hero. Hate Res. Moira's simplicity makes it so that she should never be good. Alari is very power crept and does a lot. Baptiste, I've already talked about every 5 fucking milliseconds. He's definitively the most overpowered character that Overwatch has pretty much ever had, outside of very specific like weeks or months. But just on the whole, ever since Bap came out, he's been like the best support pretty much, unless they really fuck up a character. Then who's the other one? I already forgot the other support. I know there's one more support I should be addressing, but I can't for the life of me remember who I just saw in that hero select. But I'm sure they have their own like minor annoyance or problem as well. Now obviously Sleep and Anti are very annoying, like I said, especially if you're playing Roadhog. Roadhog players are kind of the exception to everything I'm saying here. There's counterplay afforded to everybody except Roadhog players. Queen is just generally the smaller hitbox, and your shout goes through Anti. But Roadhog, I mean, you're just dead. Like, you need a Kirika. Roadhog requires a Kiriko to be played into Ana, or the Ana has to be particularly bad, or your other teammates have to be so good that they're not incentivized to focus down you as a support. Everyone else, like, you can bubble on Zarya and save people, you can do other things on other characters. Right, you could just kill the Ana at any point by diving here on pretty much a majority of the characters, a majority of the roster. Damn. But Zen actually lives there, no way. So low. Let's see, who's the other one? Oh, Brig. Brig's an interesting character who I haven't talked about yet, but Brig can be very annoying. Yeah, she's anti-dive, so if you play a dive character, especially Tracer, who she was literally designed from the ground up to counter.
My bad.
It's awful. It's an awful time. It's very bad. Yeah, we should get this right here. But yeah, that's overall. That's why I think it's okay that Ana's very strong. She definitely is. I think she's been like one of the strongest supports, at least like top 3, since she came out. Way back in the day. I can't really remember a time where Ana has been particularly weak, and I don't want her to be nerfed. I don't think any. I've thought about it. Like, I've always been annoyed by things like anti-nade. And especially Sleep, because I played a good amount of Hog. I was a Hog player up until Overwatch 2. Like, that was the tank I would play whenever I played tank.
If you can.
And that's why I hate a lot of Ana's kit, but the more I thought about it, the more I discussed with other people, the more I saw other people talk about things, the more I realized I would still rather face Ana than pretty much any other support. She feels the most fair. Unless you're on Roadhog specifically, there's literally always something you can do. And that's great. Any character where there's counterplay available is just great. Like, for every single step of the way. Ana's kit is pretty well designed, pretty well balanced overall, and it feels very fair to play against. Someone managed to touch. Wait, Winston dies. Oh. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Ana. You can see, like, I did decent this game. And nothing too bad, nothing too crazy. Hitting nasty sleeps and stuff, also fair. The fact that sleeps hurt tank less is great. Like, I think they're doing a decent job trying to keep Ana's kind of identity without keeping her overpowered. Because in Overwatch 2 on launch, she was definitively a little too strong. A lot of her abilities had to be rebalanced, but there was never any point in all of the 6-7 years of Overwatch 1 when anybody called for an Ana nerf, and it's because she's such a fair character. Also very fun, like I said, it wouldn't matter if the character wasn't fun, but Ana is very fun. I mean, look at any region, any leaderboard, it's a lot of Ana. Either Ana mains, Ana secondaries, or Ana thirds. Like, everybody plays Ana. Look at how much Ana there is in Asia, right? Look at how much Ana there is. I guess there's Kiriko and Bap, but outside of Kiriko and Bap, it's mainly Ana Lucia. There's like a few Moiras and stuff, but I mean, that just kind of shows how disgusting Kiriko and Bap are more than anything. But there's always a lot of Annas. Everybody loves Anna. Everybody loves that hero. And a lot of Annas right here. You can see Annas all around. Bap's on the other half because Bap is just, you know, busted. But even the people that play Bap generally play Anna, and then the other ones also play Kiri because she's also, you know, busted and annoying. But everybody likes playing Anna. Everybody likes playing against Anna. Everyone likes playing with Anna, unless you're a Roadhog player. In which case, I really don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just an inherently bad design on Roadhog's part, not Anna. Tanks should have abilities to deal with things like that, and every other tank has a way to stop it, right? D.Va can DM, Doom can just, you know, use mobility to get around stuff, Junker Queen, just small hitbox, and Shout goes through anti. Mauga is basically Roadhog and has the same design flaws, but even then, his little charge is immune to both sleep and int, or just sleep. But he has the same problems, same design flaws as Roadhog. I don't know why they even added this guy to the game, because they knew Roadhog was a problem in design. And then they added this guy after the fact. Like, Mauga is one of the weirdest additions in the same way that Lifeweaver was, but at least with Lifeweaver it was something new. With Mauga, they were like, yeah, this character is, you know, not working in Overwatch 2's 5v5. Let's make a second version of him. Anyway, Orisa is Fortify, which blocks both abilities. Spin blocks both abilities. General Sword ability. Ram can block both those things with Shield, and he can block, like, when in Nemesis form, if he's antied. Reinhardt has his Shield. Roadhog, like I said, fucked. Sigma has his Shield and his little, like, mini D.Va Matrix thing. Winston's got his Bubble. Wrecking Ball has his high mobility, generally hard to hit. Even at being a tank, he can be hard to hit. And Zarya's Bubble, which blocks both abilities and can even cleanse both abilities. Well, except it doesn't cleanse sleep, but it can basically keep someone alive if they are slept. So overall, every tank has a kind of solution to it outside of Roadhog and his worse clone, Mauga. Every DPS and support doesn't feel too awful to play into Ana. It's like fighting a McCree or fighting, you know, just a generic character. Ana's like the generic, you know, loved, well-designed, just middle-of-the-road character. And she is very strong, because especially right now, when Sustain is at its all-time highest, where heals matter the most that they ever have, because there is just so much heal, so much Sustain going around, makes NT that much stronger. But even when that's not the case, even when we're doing something like Dive or something, it's not too bad to have an Ana on your team. Like, she won't be the first pick, don't get me wrong. But Ana has like a way to deal with everything. You play to further range, you use your sleep and anti to deal with most things. It's kind of like almost like Doomfist, where there's always like an answer for something, except Ana doesn't require, you know, the hundreds and thousands of hours that it requires to master Doomfist. She's just a simple, fun, well-designed hero, and every part of her kit is designed like that. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.